Hey, everybody, welcome back. So, I'm doing a live today. I haven't done this in a while. You guys that watch me, you understand why. It's like no matter what I do, they jack with my connection, right? So, I've been doing everything on a Zoom and then uploading the video, but I feel like we can connect better this way, right? So, welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. I'm so shocked by what I've got to show you guys and what I need to share with y'all. As you pop on, hit the like button, drop over in comments, tell me who you are, where you're watching from. I like to get to know the people that row in on my boat. You guys, good morning, Troy. It's been insane these past few days in my community. Who would have thought that there would be a hydrocarbon explosion 18 miles from my house, right? Oh, New York, Oregon. Hi, everybody. Like, this is so shocking to me because Leslie and I just got the book published, right? Growing Under a Poison Sky, talking about, geoengineering, weather warfare, heavy toxic metals in your soil, your water, your garden. So, good morning. Wow, we've got Mississippi, Utah, and Texas on board. So glad you guys are here. The more I dig into what is happening in my community, thank you so much, born and raised. Thank you. The more shocked I am that this is not just my community. On average, every 3 days, there is a hydrocarbon leak, explosion, or plant issue in the United States every 3 days. There's a community within this country that is going to be exposed to cancer causing, birth defect making, life changing chemicals. I went to the Roseland community meeting last night. Now, let me make this very clear for everybody. I will not be part of any lawsuit. I am not affected directly by what is happening with the Smitty's explosion. It's unless they find that the well water I use is contaminated, Samantha Starkey will not be part of any lawsuit. So people would ask this, hey, Miss Patty, why are you involved in it then? Because this is still my community. I am 18 miles from the explosion site. The children who will be affected lifelong are children that I have run children's church for, Sunday school, and seeded. I also taught their parents when I taught in this parish. This is my community. It doesn't matter about the lawsuit. What is going to happen to the people of this community and the environment of this community will directly affect me because I have a heart. I sit back and I watch our elected officials and I am shocked. So Stephen and I go to the Roseland community event last night. There is nobody at that event representing Smitty's Inc. There's no representative from the plant. There is no EPA agent. There is no state representative but one. He's an attorney. And the first thing he talks about is the class action lawsuit. So anybody from Roseland that may be part of this lawsuit, please don't jump into the class action lawsuit feet first. Let me tell you why. The people of East Palestine, Ohio, the attorneys got $200 million. Do you know how much the citizens received? About $25,000 a family. That's the average. Exactly, Christina. No, Troy, that's a great question. Have they actually admitted what is burning? Let me tell you what Smitty's has not done. Smitty's has not made an official statement. They did not send a representative to the community town hall. They have not released to any attorney, any citizen that I know of. Maybe they've given it to the EPA, but we all know they're not sharing. what exactly burned at that plant. But I did my own research. Lubricant oil, antifreeze, unleaded gasoline, plastic. It was a bottling manufacturing facility. So they bottled things. They had a plastic bottling company there. Now, we all know that when you take all of that and you mix it together in full combustion, not partial, full combustion, in other words, mainly a lack of oxygen, that's what makes that big, black, high burning, intensely hot fire. All those chemicals change their composition. Can I get an amen? So, what came out of the fire is not necessarily what was in the plant, it is the byproduct of what is burning from the plant. As of right now, they have closed the river, Tangipahoa River, from Ainit City, Highway 10. You can look this up on a map, all the way to the mouth of the Pontchartrain River. I'm guessing here, but I'm going to say that's right at 100 miles of river. The Pontchartrain is where it surrounds New Orleans. That's how far these contaminants have now gone. I want to read something to you, friends and family of the internet. Like I said, Smitty's themselves has not made an official statement, but oh wow, she took it down. The owner took her post down. But a family members of Smitty's posted on Facebook. I just realized she removed it, but I screenshotted it. Go me. Her last name was Tate. She is the daughter of one of the owners. This is only part of what she posted. The mess. Oil is everywhere, and everyone knows that. There's many posts being made of how to get it out of pools and pressure washing companies offering deals. Use your resources. Simply clean it up. Girl, you got to set. Be kind. And that's her next words. Be kind. This incident was horrific, was a horrific accident. There's no one to blame. Smitty's has been providing oil, lubricants, and fluids worldwide for many years, and they even shut down lines during COVID to make hand sanitizer. Oh, how sweet. Just consider that you probably have one of their products in your vehicle right now before making a lawsuit or an ugly post. At the end of the day, we all have questions. We all have worries, but we all have access to a God who can lead us down new paths, who can heal our broken hearts, and who can protect us from the pollution and other dangers this incident might have brought. Daily life may look a little different from this point on for so many, but what truly matters is God has been and still is control, and it will all soon be okay. The daughter of the owner of Smitty's put this out on Facebook. She literally said, there is no one to blame. She literally said, use your resources and simply clean it up. She said that God would protect us from the toxins in the water. So let me make this point to Miss Tate. I am a Christian. Anybody that watches me knows Sam be loving some Jesus, right? And I believe in a God that can heal, a God that can fix, and a God that can restore. But I also understand free flipping will. And somewhere along the line, Smitty's dropped the ball. And when Smitty's free will not to have the appropriate retaining walls, not to have the appropriate firefighting equipment, not to have trained their employees appropriately, if, oh my God, the plant blew up. Do you want to know what else Smitty's is doing? They have now offered anybody that lives in a 2-mile radius of the explosion, you can get free cleaning supplies and the employees, but nobody else. I know of agricultural farms in my community whose cows were covered in black. Their mouths were covered in black from drinking water contaminated from Smitty's. But according to her, you should probably consider that Smitty's, they closed a line down and made hand sanitizer during COVID before you file a lawsuit about your cattle. So obviously, even the news, even our local news channel reported on her Facebook post. So it looks like she has taken it down. I guess somebody called her and said, Jesus, have mercy. Are you a flippin' idiot? Take that down. You can't tell people whose entire environment is covered in toxic smut from your family's chemical plant to go clean it themselves and trust God. I tell y'all what, this is the kind of ignorance we have to deal with in my community. Let me tell you what Smitty's was known for. This industry was known for other petroleum and coal product manufacturing. Petroleum and coal products manufacturing, I said that. They were known for manufacturing of mechanical, physical, or chemical transformation of materials, substances, or components into new products. They were also a petroleum lubricating oil and grease manufacturer. Yeah. In just Roseland, for 2025, so far, they've made $68.5 million. It must be real nice to be in a family worth close to $100 million in 1 year and sit on top of your high horse and say, hey, look, we understand that our family business went kaboom and you guys are covered. Just clean it up with your own resources and think twice before suing us. Right. Lisa said a local brewing company made hand sanitizer during COVID as well. They made a bundle of money. Next thing you know, the owner's flying a little private plane overhead. Thank you, Troy. Troy said the radiuses are a joke. Dioxazines are microbial. They will travel for very great distances. We get dust from Africa in our country, and you can visibly see the particulate size. He is correct about that. Every year we get a dust bloom. It actually changes the color of the sky from Africa in America. So if it'll travel that far, I would assume that you people in Arkansas and Missouri are now smelling or at least breathing the toxins from this Smitty's fire here in South Louisiana. Now, what I wanted to show you guys is I did speak last night because you guys know I went to Maui at the end of the fire. I went 3 times to advocate for people. I spoke there too. And I went to Roseland. Like I said, I am not part of the lawsuit. Unless they tell me my groundwater is contaminated, I'm good. I will not be part of any lawsuit. I was south of the plant 18 miles. But I will help people fight this because it's the right thing to do. Our governor, Governor Landry, got on TV yesterday and said that all these particles, all this soot you see falling, it's not toxic. He actually said that. He said the EPA was testing the air and the air quality was good. Good. What are you people worried about? Don't you know a boiling black cloud of soot is good for you? I mean, come on, Louisiana. Suck it up. You know how frustrated I am to hear our elected officials tell people just go home, get some Dawn soap, scrub it off. People stood up yesterday and they asked the hard questions. What about our livestock? Our entire fields where we graze our cattle and goats is covered in black, whatever that is. Nobody had any answers. What about the ponds our livestock drinks from? Nobody had any answers. Do you want to know what they want to focus on? Nobody died in the explosion. And I am thankful for that. I really am. Life is precious. But I've seen pictures of alligators swimming in the Tangipahoa. How long do you think these gators are going to live? It's heartbreaking to me because this is my community and I'm seeing them be hoodwinked. It is now the oil is reported to be coming out at the opening of the mouth of the Pontchartrain River. I mean, the lake there. And let me remind you that the Pontchartrain is what's around New Orleans, and then it dumps into the Gulf of Mississippi. Hydrocarbon spews, oil leaks, burns, whatever. That is what removes the oxygen from the water and does algae blooms and kills, huge amounts of kills. I'm looking right now for all this stuff. I don't seem to be seeing it. I had it all pulled up and now I don't see it. I'll find it in a second for you guys. By the way, YouTube does not pay me. Haven't paid me in 5 months. If you'd like to donate to our channel, I'm going to be spending a lot of time with someone named Scott Smith. If you guys know anything about the East Palestine, Ohio train derailment, Scott Smith is the gentleman that came in on his own dollar and retested the air, the water, the soil, and said the EPA is not telling you the truth. 2 years later, you can go look at a map of East Palestine, Ohio. There are entire streets where everybody on the street has thyroid cancer. You go over to another section of the community and everybody on this line here are having birth defects with their pregnancies. Their children are being born with birth defects. There was a 2-headed puppy born recently in East Palestine, Ohio. 2 years, almost to the day, of the train derailment and explosion in Ohio. I want you to think about that. If you'd like to support the work that I do here, you can look at the top of comments when this is over. If you'll add your email address, I'll give you our monthly newsletter, and we do Zooms, and I'll send you the Zoom link. If you don't want to participate, don't participate. But please pray about rowing in our boat. Now, I am auctioning off 3 more of these. If you want a signed copy of the book, Growing Under a Poison Sky, that we just put out. I'm trying to raise money. My husband has a CAT scan this Friday for his aneurysm, and he will be missing work again. So let me find, this is me. Y'all want to hear me? Citizen tester. This was me last night, folks, because y'all know I get sassy. There is a citizen tester, a scientist tester by the name of Scott Smith. He works with East Palestine, Ohio. After the train derailment, the EPA tried to cover it up. This gentleman was here. He has taken samples. He has asked me to let all of you know, bag up everything. He will be back within the next 2 weeks. He will meet with us. He will bring your samples. He will have them independently tested. He will make sure all of these toxins are not just recorded, but he will fingerprint them, folks. Look that up. That means he can trace it back to Smitty's. So bag everything. We have to fight as a community. I walked in that building, and it was probably 30% white, 70% black. Let me tell you, thank you guys. Let me tell you what I'm hearing on the chat boards on Facebook. Oh, look, everybody trying to get that dollar. Everybody trying to get that bling. Everybody trying to get that bag. You know who's saying it? The white people. That's true racism because Roseland is a majority Black community. They have a problem with the Black people fighting for clean air, water, and land. So when I'm on Facebook and I see white people saying, here they go again, they just looking for that money. Stop being ignorant. These people's entire lives have just changed. They were exposed to toxins that will change their DNA. So yes, they have a right to sue. They should sue. The shame is not that they're suing, but that Smitty's has not released how this started. That Smitty's doesn't have representatives out in the community saying, what can we do to help you? That Smitty's isn't going door to door for these elderly people on oxygen machines or who are homebound, because there are a lot of them in Roseland, saying, can we get you a hotel room? How can we help you? No, you don't see any of that. Then I also know that there's a pretty high concentration of illegal aliens in this part of Tangipahoa Parish and St. Helena Parish. Not one of them were there. This is another reason I am against illegal immigration. They won't come out and fight with the rest of us for our communities. Why? Because they're afraid they're going to get deported because they've broken the law to get here. So they've got no skin in the fight, but their children will be affected by this. I know there's 1,000 things that you and I could be discussing right now. Why am I not letting this go? One, because it is my community. But two, because I now just realized that every 3 days, something like this is happening across this country. And that more and more communities are being affected. Why is it always rural, poor rural communities this happens to? And why does it always feel like our elected officials know nothing? We heard last night that the EPA has taken it from the parish, which is a county where you are. So the EPA took over everything from the parish and the state, and they are now running the cleanup. Scott Smith, the scientist, the independent scientist tester that I talked about, will be back. He has actually agreed to do a Zoom call with everybody in the community that's been affected. He wants people, if there are dead animals on your property, bag it. Write the date, where you found it, put it in a freezer. He will actually pick up the dead animals from you and have them tested. Folks, it's so much worse than people realize. And when your governor, when your state representatives, and when your parish leading council is up there saying, just go home, get some Dawn soap, and clean everything, it's going to be okay. That's what people do because they trust you. They don't realize that as they're cleaning everything with Dawn soap, that water's going into the drainage, the ditches. And where does that go? Into sewage and the drinking water, into the creeks and the rivers. 100 miles of river has been contaminated. The plume went 5 miles straight up. The toxins, when it was burning, the fire went 5 miles up. But they are telling us that the air, the whole time, the air was perfectly okay. Really? Thank you, Miss Sheila. She said you could look at that black smoke bellowing high and wide and know it was going to be horrific. Oh, wait. There was vinyl chloride doxing, Troy. I didn't see that. He said if you notice colors of the barrels and the containers mean something. I did notice a lot of white and gray containers at Smitty's, but this is what people don't understand. The Smitty's family has more than just here. They actually have other plants. Let me tell you what they're going to do, folks. They're going to file bankruptcy. And they're going to reopen under another name. And do you know who's going to be on the receiving end of cleaning this up? The local taxpayers. Somebody said, my husband is a Shell retiree. Shell's another hydrocarbon chemical plant in Louisiana. He said every bit of the non-response to this situation stinks to all heaven. Absolutely no proper protocol. To begin with, there have been permanent fire monitors that were turned on in order to cool down the surrounding equipment. Second, they should have had foam injectors in the dike areas. Once those protocols are followed properly, then the fuel source would burn out while protecting surrounding equipment. This would have contained the spread. This was clearly planned. No one is this incompetent with a military-style protocol that has been in place since World War II. Make no mistake. This was no accident. That's what somebody else wrote. I read it. It says Smitty's 55-year-long journey. Smitty's has consistently expanded and upgraded its range of products and services. Today, our product portfolio encompasses passenger car, motor, and heavy-duty motor oils, transmission fluids, tractor and industrial hydraulic fluids, small engine mixing oils, diesel exhaust fluid, specialty fluids, aerosols, pour chemicals, windshield washer fluids, and much more. That's what burned in Smitty's. It says that our headquarters are in Roseland, Louisiana, serving as the central hub for our operations. Roseland also houses one of 3 extensive manufacturing facilities producing a wide range of lubricants. The second manufacturing plant is based in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Then the third being in Hammond, Indiana. In addition to warehouses in Roseland, Smitty's maintains multiple warehouse locations in Shreveport, Louisiana, and Jasper, Texas. Moreover, we operate a broad global distribution network covering approximately 90 countries. It says we have an in-house plastics department utilizing blow mold and injection mold machines to produce over 54 million bottles annually, ranging from 2.6 ounce to 5 gallon pails. Additionally, it has an on-site grease manufacturing facility generating 30 million pounds of grease each year. With multiple product lines, 11 million gallons of bulk storage, and over 14.4 acres of warehouse space under roof. All of that burned. All of that. You take all of that, shove it in a bucket, set it on fire, put your face over it and start breathing it, Governor Landry, and tell me how safe that is. Okay, I see what you're saying. And then to see a family member, the daughter, of course, she gets all the benefits of Smitty's, right? All the benefits of being a daughter of Smitty's, and going to tell everybody to use their own resources to clean your pools, right? A multimillionaire, clean your own, use your own resource. You're not getting mine. Oh, they're going to get it, boo-boo, one way or the other. These people going to get theirs. The closure of the Tangipahoa River expands to Lake Pontchartrain as 98% of the Roseland explosion fire is extinguished. You guys, I'm telling y'all, it's so bad. Stephen and I went to the river. You guys saw that. It says the Roseland community is still looking for answers about what chemicals blanketed the towns and surrounding areas and black ash and oil. We're not getting any answers from these people. Please consider donating to our community, folks. You can look at the top of comments at the end. Even if all of you would just send $1, it would help me continue this fight. I am, like I said, going to be working with all right, guys, quick update about what is going on. I'm going to be working with Scott Smith. Let me find some stuff to share y'all real quick and see if it's easier to find it on this channel. And what kills me is the people like Gold Digger, when they see people talking about what Smitty's did. Are y'all just idiots? This is toxic. Those people that live in Roseland, every one of them should end up a millionaire at the end of this because they're going to need health care for the remainder of their lives. FEMA hasn't even shown up. Don't even say FEMA to me. Them people ain't even been here. They have not even shown up. And then we have to worry about is what is in the foam. They're not even telling us what was in the foam.
Motor oil and lubricants. That led to an evacuation in Roseland. And today, officials scaled back the evacuation zone, but the response continues to expand. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'm Katie Moore.
And I'm Sharice Gibson. So tonight we're following the impacts of that massive fire at Smitty Supply in Arcola with soot and chemicals that were spread out throughout the air and then the Tangipahoa River.
Yeah, and here's a look at the new evacuation zone. It's the stretch of Highway 51 right next to Smitty's, plus parts of Highway 10 and 1048. Now, people living outside the streets in red there were allowed to return home today.
And we have team coverage tonight. Whitney Miller joining us now live along the Tangipahoa River, talking to people about what they're seeing and smelling on the water miles downstream. Whitney, what are you seeing there?
I guess I couldn't connect. There it is.
But right at the edge. We're right at the edge of Hammond and Robert. We're about a 30-mile drive from where this all took place.
30
what
miles.
We're seeing on the Tangipahoa River is that there is like a sheen, oil sheen that is floating down the river. If Robert can get a little bit of that. And you can also see that there is this kind of rainbow film that is in the water when the water hits it, when the light hits it just right. I want to tell you that, some of the neighbors we spoke to, they're concerned because there are some river boats that have been going through the river and they are kind of making a wake and pushing some of the water up. And the residents here tell me they're concerned that water could, with oil in it, could get onto their property. So they want to see this cleaned up as soon as possible. Take a listen to one of the neighbors I spoke with just a few minutes ago about what they're seeing out here on the Tangipahoa River.
We came out today and it was worse this morning. So I know they're trying to clean up upriver. It seems like maybe that's working, but I'm sure you can smell it. And if you stay out here too long, it can become a little overwhelming. But this is what we have.
Yeah.
This is, it's.
I actually evacuated when it first happened. Y'all know my husband at 46 has an aneurysm. And by the grace of God, he's still going to work, right? Because government's not going to help us. We're just like you. We're taxpayers. There's nothing there for a 46-year-old with an aneurysm. It would take us 2 years to fight that, to get any form of SSI or anything. So he does what any real man would. He gets up and the man goes to work. When I saw that sucker explode, I threw clothes into the vehicle. I secured all the animals on the property. I put him in the car. I was like, we're done. We're done. And I went like 4 hours from here into Mississippi and got a hotel room. Spent money we don't necessarily have right now. Until I knew which way that wind was blowing, that was the only thing I cared about, was he not inhale those chemicals. I knew what I was looking at. I knew what I was looking at, you guys. My dad worked in chemical plants his entire life. Most people in Louisiana either worked in chemical plants or they know somebody that did. It's a huge part of what people do here, especially the men. And then look how many of our men have brain aneurysms, heart problems, cancer. So many widows in Louisiana, you know? So we're the 40. I wrote all this down yesterday on the way to the Roseland town meeting. We're the 46th. If you rank like air quality, we're down at the bottom. We're 46th for air quality and cancer. Roseland already had an above average 23% of the children between the age of 5 and 17 already had ADHD in Roseland. Can you imagine what it's going to look like now? Guys, first and foremost, I will always be a teacher at heart. My master's degree in special ed's always going to be there. And I am telling y'all, these toxins are directly linked to children and disabilities, whether they be physical, whether they be mental, physiologically, all of it together, educationally, whether it's occupational. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is going to be devastating. Right? Kelly said, I just looked up the Roseland weather. It says air quality good. It's because the EPA does not test for the right particulates. See, they're looking for a certain size. Anything below 15 doesn't even register on their test. So smoke is going to come in at 2.5, but they're testing for 15. The World Health Organization, the American Lung Association, Lung Cancer Association wants the EPA to test for air quality at 2.5 or 5. But that's not what they do. They test at 15 parts per million. But it's the 2.5 and the 5 that gets deep into your lungs and causes cancer, pneumonitis, and things like that. Guys, I've only been to the river once, Sunday, when I was doing the videos. And I went into a meet yesterday, and I am burning from here to here. And because I had childhood asthma, I have sensitive lungs. And I can feel it from here to here. I've been irritated ever since. Yeah, but I haven't been back, Deadpool Snipes. Thank you, though. So I just want to say, guys, again, I am auctioning off 3 more copies of a signed book, Growing Under a Poison Sky. If you'd like to support our channel, please look in the top of comments. It has been bad. This week, we're going to be going. Steven's got a CAT scan Friday, and then we missed 3 more days of work in September because we've got another CAT scan. We see ENT and then neurosurgery the same day to determine, are we doing sinus surgery or are we coiling the aneurysm? Like, what are we doing? We don't even really know yet. I just know that to the ones of you that keep us going, thank you. I sincerely mean that. I couldn't do it without you guys. By the way, Hammer is doing better. He is still taking gabapentin, but I have reduced it a lot. Instead of getting he was actually getting, was it 400 or 600 milligrams 3 times a day? I've got him down to just 1 dose, 600 at night before he goes to bed so he can rest. Thank you, Kelly, so that he can rest. So he does look better, though. He's actually walking and playing and jumping, and I'm so thankful. So very thankful, because I don't know. We still don't know exactly what happened to him. It just feels like the timing of our book was almost perfect. Getting to speak with Mr. Scott was so amazing. Do you guys know that our health and hospital secretary is good friends with Mr. Scott? Let me find it for you guys. You can find him, by the way, if you want to follow Mr. Scott Smith's work, you can follow him at Blue. It's called Blue Shirt Justice League, Blue Shirt Justice League on Facebook. Scott Smith, he is the independent scientist that defended East Palestine, Ohio. He also developed the patent for the oil absorbent material used with the BP oil spill. He's amazing. He is coming to defend our community. Thank you, God, because it seems like our elected officials don't know anything. I was so shocked yesterday at that community meeting when, the elected officials basically said, don't worry about it. Look at this. This is what breaks my heart. Watch this. That is an alligator. It's covered in oil. When we say oil, we don't really know what it is. It's oil based. And it's heartbreaking to see that. Here's a dead frog in a water trough on a farm. Do you see the scum on top of that water? This is where their animals are supposed to drink. Look at that. And when they asked, let me find that. Listen to what she asked them.
What is in the grass? Is it if we dose it off or if it rains and it goes into the dark? Are we going to be able to even ever put our livestock back on those pastures? We have ponds that are black. These animals cannot drink out of this. We're going to have dead fish. We're going to have animals that can't drink. I know that they're testing, but it's not only the chemicals that were at Smitty's, but after they burn, their molecular structure changes.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
it's not just the chemicals there, but we need to know everything, what it's actually turned into, because that's going to have a different effect on us. So
Yes, ma'am.
Kind of guard, make sure you throw away everything. But, we till can you just till up the soil and put fresh, we don't give everything.
And you got to rid of everything. I was at a meeting with the agriculture commissioner. So he's gathering all the information, especially from all the chemicals that was there. And we're basically waiting on them to get back with us with information on that. So here's the thing, we can't tell you nothing we don't know. So we just got to follow protocol. Let them do with the sampling and stuff. And like I said, just be smart and protect yourself.
Keep our animals that we food.
So I clean my house. I'm going to make my house. I'm using dishwasher because
So he goes on to talk. She asked him a pointed question. What are we supposed to do with our livestock? Can we put them back on the fields? Do we go out there and till this under? Do we scrap it all? Y'all, there are people in Louisiana that have hundreds of acres of strawberries. What do they do with that? I can tell you these big farms are going to harvest and sell. They sure are. But the ones of us who are smaller, who are debt-free, who are not necessarily just profit-driven, we're not feeding that to anybody. We know better. And that's the concern for people who have cattle north of Smitty's. The fields are covered in black. The water sources are contaminated. What do you do with this livestock? What are we supposed to do with our livestock? This is day 5 and 6. Where do we put the animals? They're asking them that. This guy goes on, I washed my house with Dawn soap. Just be smart. Use common sense. You didn't answer her. What is she supposed to do with her livestock? Where is she going to find a few 100 acres to leave her cattle until you guys get out there and clean this crap up? Who's going to pay for that? Smitty's? Oh, but for the ones of you that just recently joined me, again, let me read the now deleted post from Miss Tate, the daughter of one of the owners of Smitty's. The mess. Oil is everywhere, and everyone knows that. There's many posts being made about how to get it out of pools and pressure wash companies offering deals. Use your resources and simply clean it up. Be kind. This incident was a horrific accident. There's no one to blame. Smitty's has been providing oil, lubricants, fluids worldwide for many years. And they even shut down lines during COVID to make hand sanitizer. Just consider that. You probably have one of their products in your vehicle right now before making a lawsuit or an ugly post. I guess somebody in her family or the attorney said, "Have you lost your stupid head? Take that down." And she did. Good thing I screenshotted it, right? That's what we're dealing with in my community. I sat there last night and I watched people in their 80s, you guys, 80 years old. Do you know what a blessing it is to have lived 80 years on this earth? Who have lived in the same house their entire life. No, I'm not picking. I'm dead serious. They inherited that house from their parents. Some of those homes in Roseland are over 100 years old. It is a beautiful little country town. It is why John Bell Edwards, one of our old governors, has a mansion there. I watched some little old ladies ask, was it safe to go home? And be told, yes, ma'am. Air quality is good. Thank you, Kelly. Yes, ma'am. No accountability at all. Folks, please share this video. This may not be your community. This may not be the most interesting or snazzy thing you can be watching on YouTube, right? So many great conspiracies to discuss. But this is real. And this is affecting people in my community who don't have the money to fight this. Some of these people were asking, they were like, look, you know, my homeowner's insurance won't help me get somebody out here to, these people are old, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, okay? I can't get anybody, I can't pressure wash, right? These people are old. And my homeowner's insurance won't cover anything until I get the name of Smitty's insurance company. But Smitty's won't give out their insurance company information to the public. You've got a company that made almost $70 million already from this one plant in 2025, refusing to give out the information the community needs to stay safe. There was not one Smitty's representative at this meeting. Our governor was not there. There was nobody from the EPA, nobody from the DEQ, nobody from Wildlife and Fisheries. There was Robbie Carter, an elected official that's a Democrat and an attorney who is there to talk about how we need to get on board with the class action lawsuit, y'all. Yeah, boy. Everybody get ready. We got us a class action lawsuit. We gonna whoop them. Knowing that the only people that get rich from a class action lawsuit are the attorneys. This is how much they care. And then I get on today and I see a picture of our governor with like the command center for the Roseland explosion, right? They're all standing there like this in their little khaki pants, all for the for the picture. Governor Landry in Roseland for the explosion. But he couldn't come to the town hall. You couldn't come talk to us, the people. Remember this when it's time to vote again. Get a personal attorney. For the ones of you who are in Roseland and were affected by this, please, for the love of God, do not sign anything. Do not join a lawsuit, nothing. We're going to be having Scott Smith back in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. There is a private company testing the air today. They called me last night. They are out here testing the air quality, a private nonprofit. I heard it was lightning strike that started the fire. They have not said what it is. You cannot believe any rumors. We may never know what exactly started that fire. But again, they are testing the air quality today. Mr. Scott Smith with Blue Shirt Justice League, go follow him on Facebook. He will be back in about a week and a half. If you'd like a signed autograph of our book to help me raise money for my husband's medical expenses, let me know in comments. Look at the top comment that is posted for ways to donate. I got to go. I got some things I got to work on. I love you guys so much. Thank y'all for being here with me. Please share this. Please get the news out. God bless you all.